All right, I think it skipped a little bit, but it said a feeling. We're defining esteem, a feeling of respect or liking for someone or something, especially a very favorable opinion. Respect and admiration, the regard of which one is held, okay? And what we're going to be talking about is self esteem, and particularly low self esteem. We're going to really get, I'm sure you've heard this word before, you've heard it used, self esteem. He has low self esteem, whatever. But what we're going to do, we're going to get granular and really get nitty gritty about what it is exactly. Okay. Um, what I put here is going through the storm doesn't feel good. It is an inconvenience. So, um, really beginning to get granular and look at these things, these concepts. It's like going through a storm. It can be, um, because you have to. The storm you have to go through is the emotional storm that ensues when these thoughts, feelings, emotions, and behaviors are on display. Okay? Why am I always teaching on this topic, especially lately in this season? Okay? Um, well, because I feel there's a need to. It's very uh, evident that people are wrestling with this. Um, what I put, what I got here is so, and the question I ask is what happens, and we're going to go through some things here. What happens if there is no balance? It there it becomes a false balance, otherwise known as insecurity. And so let's talk about the different tools you have at hand to get in alignment with the Most High and the way that He would have you to bring forth true spiritual change, not superficial change. So you have praise, you have worship, you have prayer, you have fasting, you have deliverance, you have study, you have the Holy Spirit, and you have self-examination. 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5, examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves? Okay? How that Jesus Christ is in you, except ye be reprobates. So you got to know that the Most High is operating, and you got to lean on that. And we're going to get granular on what that means. But what the reason I read through all that is because what I have seen, I see a lot of people. They will do all these steps and use all these tools, but they're not using the one thing that's probably the most obvious thing throughout the whole entire word they don't do, and that's self-examination and true introspection, looking at thoughts, feelings, emotions, behaviors, and really analyzing and looking at them and examining them. That's not happening. So it's a superficial type of self-development and growth or spiritual walk that's happening, where people might, if they're not feeling right, they'll praise and worship to artificially jack themselves up, to raise themselves up, to make themselves feel better. I'm not saying don't praise and worship to get yourself in a better spirit. I do it all the time. Some mornings I wake up and I'm legitimately down, but I've done enough self-examination, and I know myself. I'm in a good enough relationship with myself to know that, hey, I need to just praise and worship Yah. I can feel that that's there. But sometimes I wake up and I'm not feeling right, and it's because I got some spiritual combat that I need to do. Okay? So, and y'all, it's super cold out here. Uh, it's in the 20s. So, you know what I'm saying? We from Florida, so that's where we moved from. So I'm just adjusting that heat a little bit. But you understand what I'm saying? We have to use the correct tool, and most of y'all know I'm a mechanic by trade. That is my skill set. And I've always, and that would be maybe one of the gifts, one of the talents that, or the talents, or the talents that the Most High gave me, and I'm trying to multiply, is fixing and repairing, troubleshooting. You know what I'm saying? That's one of my things, figuring things out, working with tools. And you know, I know as a mechanic, you want to use the correct tool for the correct job. If you're using a hammer when you need a screwdriver, you're not going to get anywhere. It's going to look like you're doing something from an outside point of view, but you're not going to be getting anything fixed. And it's going to be evident when whatever you're working on breaks down or it ends up not being fixed. So anyway, we're going to dive in, and we're going to we're going to go pretty deep on this. Low self-esteem, or having low self-esteem, or having a low opinion or perception of yourself is a result of the best word we could use is like an unconscious self-perception. And all that is a way of saying you're not paying attention to what's going on inside you, how you're acting and behaving. That if you want to put it on a very simple level, okay? And it's like, again, through society, through religion, through a lot of stuff, we're conditioned to just act like everything's good and not really take the time to do the real work that needs to happen, okay, to bring forth change. So what I wrote here is unconscious self-perception refers to the way we perceive ourselves without conscious awareness. So you're unaware of this, but deep down, you keep getting warning signs from situations in your life, from people, places, things, just things that happen. And deep down, when I say deep down, you know, your subconscious, your carnal, the carnal you, whatever it is, knows that something's off. And it's sending you warnings. Life is sending you warnings. Your thoughts, feelings, and emotions are sending you warnings that, hey, there's something here that needs to be fixed or repaired or dealt with. Some people got buzzers going off, and it's a 5-alarm emergency that, hey, there's an issue here. But people choose to ignore them. And because of pride and fear and other mechanisms operating in them, what they do is just stuff it down and act like there's nothing going on. It's like you got an oil leak and you're leaking fluid all over the place, and you're just trying to act like, oh yeah, nah, I'm not leaking. And you can see the low self-esteem and the insecurity dripping out of people. You can see it dripping off them. how can I speak on this so boldly and so with so much assurance? Because I deal with it. I've dealt with it. I've had to overcome a lot of insecurities and low self-esteem and just a, a perception of myself that was right below the surface that I was unaware of, and come to find out that perception was correct because I was off. There were areas that needed to be fixed and brought into alignment, brought into the light of what the word says. There was stuff that was out of alignment with the Most High Yah's truth. Okay? Let's see. So, unconscious self-perception refers to the way we perceive ourselves without conscious awareness. It's a complex interplay of thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that shape our identity and behavior. And that's what I'm saying when I say it's oozing out of you. People try to hide it, but they can't stop it from seeping out through the cracks of their behavior and how they act. And then people like me who have been in there, done the deep work of facing, the sinful side of myself, or whatever you want to call it. It's very evident when I look at other people what they have going on. It's like, and their behaviors and actions speak so loud, I can't hear anything they're saying. And that's why I heart large, big on, you'll know them by their fruit, okay? These unconscious perceptions, so these things operating below the surface, where deep down, something, it ain't right, but you don't want to face it and deal with it. So these unconscious perceptions can significantly influence our self-esteem, motivation, and relationships, okay? They can significantly influence your self-esteem, motivation, and relationships, okay? Unconscious, and what some of the ways these things operate: unconscious stereotypes, prejudices that can affect how we perceive ourselves and others, okay? So what you find when you begin looking within and looking at these things that cause you to lack confidence or have, one of the things I call is cause you to be arrested in your development, you have, and you'll see it in people, I saw it in myself, childlike responses to certain situations that aggravate these areas of low self-esteem. It'll be childlike responses because maybe at a certain age something happened, you experienced rejection or something like that, and it caused you to be arrested in your development. Your development in that area stopped because you were traumatized. It was a shock to it, and for whatever reason in that particular area you never mature, and now you have insecurities there, you have fear. You know what I'm saying? Like growing up, when you've been teased or bullied or went through a breakup, or there's a myriad of things that will have you operating in this, which equates on a spiritual level to a lot of people have a spirit of rejection that they're wrestling with, that they need deliverance from. They got spirits of fear, spirits of pride, because like rejection plus fear equals pride. Like that's literally like a mathematical equation. Like 1 + 1 = 2. Rejection plus fear equals pride. You know what I'm saying? And again, you got to peel these layers back. How? By beginning to really look at yourself. And if you're not, listen, y'all, if you're not in a habit of doing this, if this is not your default way that you operate, where you're looking within, inevitably these things are going to creep in. This is why the word tells you, be vigilant and be watchful. Because your adversary, like Satan, is always out there seeking to get you. And this is his battleground. People think, oh, Satan operating through him. Again, I've been talking about being so externally focused. If Satan's operating through him, then he's operating through you too. Because look, he was operating through Peter. He came to Jesus. What did Jesus do? Quoted book. Quoted book. Y'all put a 100 up in there if that's making sense. Let's see. Terminology. Okay. So now we're talking about internal dialogue, or the thoughts, feelings, emotions that are in your head that are submitted wherever they're coming from. Whether they're just coming from your carnal nature and your emotional conditioning, or they're being submitted by spirits to you. A lot of people are not aware of their internal dialogue, of what's going on and operating inside them. That's what the internal dialogue is, if y'all don't know. And if I need to, I'll do a video on it. Okay? And so our internal dialogue can be both positive and negative, and it can significantly influence our self-perception. And this is why they tell us meditate on the word day and night, so that you can control what you're hearing. Because a lot of people, their internal, and they the definition of internal dialogue, I call it the carnal nature. And if your carnal nature is in tune with Satan and demons, all you're going to hear is them voices. It's going to drown out the voice of the Holy Spirit, because you're not paying attention. You're not looking at this stuff. You're not doing, and we can really get heavy in the scripture on what I'm talking about. But you're not doing what the word tells you. You're not dealing with these thoughts, feelings, emotions, and inner voices, whatever. You're not dealing with them the way the word tells you to deal with them. In fact, you're not even paying attention to them. You're acting like, oh, they don't exist. So when you're in your comfort zone, when you're not in situations that trigger these emotions to come to the surface, oh, you cool. But when you get in a situation that triggers them, then they come to the surface. And that is the best time to look at them and deal with them. But what a lot of people do is respond to, they give full vent to them. Okay? This operates in a mere every way. Like, this is the mechanism that causes people to get off track, to sin. Okay? Whether it's in relationships, whether it's with gluttony, overeating, with weight issues, with being lazy, with being stubborn, like anything. This is core nucleus blanket stuff that, you know what I'm saying? And it can significantly influence others. All right. If we have negative, unconscious beliefs about ourselves, we may self-sabotage. Avoid So some of the things you'll do is you'll avoid challenges and opportunities out of fear of failure. Um, let me see. Like I said earlier, it'll affect you in relationships. You, excuse me, you'll struggle in relationships. You'll discount your success. Uh, so you really won't have true confidence in yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I talked about this where like people need external attaboys and they need to, this is where bragging comes in, where people might brag. They'll be like, hey, I did this, that, and the other. Why? Because they get that external admiration instead of getting it from within when you get to know yourself. Now, I'm not gonna get off topic, because if you look at the Journey Inward series, because this is part 10 of it, we go very deep into all that. Okay. And like I said, you have difficulty in forming relationships, certain types of relationships, whether it's with marriage or friendships or whatever, okay? Or where it comes to professional, like being at work, you know what I'm saying? A supervisor-worker relationship, stuff like that. Again, this is so all-encompassing, you know, I'd have to go on forever saying all the areas it could affect. So when people experience low self-esteem, and we're going to get deeper into it, but when they experience it, they feel inadequate, unworthy. And again, it's almost like a vicious cycle where negative things happen in your life. You make excuses for it. So you're pushing it down. Oh, it's not me, it's them. And then it's a vicious cycle. Then you get another situation. Something negative happens. You make excuses for it. It's not you, it's them. You're telling yourself it's some type of excuse, but the reality is you're leaking. You know what I'm saying? And we can see the leaks. You see what I'm saying? And that's how it looks. You can see the leaks from the outside. So we're going to get into solution. Okay? And we come in biblically with the solution. So solutions to start with self-reflection, regularly taking time to reflect on your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Now, if you go out there in social media land, you know, you good to go? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and close this then. Okay. Yeah, if you go out there in social media land, what you see a trend of right now is people spending a lot of time, energy, and effort pointing out other people's issues. They're reflecting on other people's thoughts, feelings, emotions, and behaviors. And they're conditioning and teaching the people and all their followers to focus on other people's thoughts, feelings, and emotions and behaviors. And that's nothing but a trick. It's a break. Okay, I heard it squeaking.
No, I guess this is me being on the break.
Yeah, it's so cold out here. Yeah. But they're conditioning and teaching other people to focus, or their followers to focus on other people's thoughts, feelings, emotions, and behaviors. And if you're focused on that, what are you not focused on? Say that again, Emmanuel.
Yourself.
There you. It ain't complicated. When you look in the Word, 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5, it tells you, examine yourselves whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves, know ye not your own selves, how that Jesus Christ is in you, except ye be reprobate. Except you be a reprobate. Look, it's telling you right there, it don't matter where you at. You start doing this type of work, you're going to see y'all's power. But what people are doing is, all it is, it's a deception of Satan to get you off track. Man, Satan is a deceiver. So he will deceive you. Look, it's tasty and tantalizing to the flesh to sit there and look at what other people got going on and watch people point out other people's issues and all that. Hey, look, I had a person, somebody was telling me, some dude made a video about me saying how my channel ain't getting no views because of what I'm talking. Look, these types of videos ain't gonna get no views. Listen, Michael Israel studies media as a business. So, like, trust me, if I wanted to grow this channel tomorrow, I know exactly what all the people with reprobate minds, what they'd cling to get my view count up. But I'm here for kingdom work. Y'all type kingdom work in the comments. That's what I'm here for. I'm not here for views. Views will come though. It ain't complicated. You know what I'm saying? Just give the people some sugar, some sweet sugary candy media content. Hey, they're gonna be there. You're gonna grow a channel to thousands. That's because many are called, few are chosen. You see what I'm saying? This thing ain't complicated, y'all. All right. It says, let's see what I put here. We read that. So examine yourselves. See if you be in the faith. How you do that? Identify and challenge negative thoughts with this word. You need to talk to trusted brothers and sisters. Again, we are and this is the beautiful thing about Straightway is and this is, man, I'm gonna really go in on this. If you follow the example that's been laid out, and this is the problem with people, instead of following the example that's laid out, they're trying to scrutinize with people's behavior. But they're scrutinizing people's behavior through when they need glasses, they need a vision correction. Okay? So it's like, how are you going to train me on the range on how to shoot long range when your eyesight is all effed up? Why don't you go to the eye doctor, get some contacts, get some glasses, and then come train me on how to shoot this? Or let's say it another way. Remove the log out of your eye before you try to remove the, you know what I'm saying? And Straightway is a log removal factory. It's an environment conducive to self-development, spiritual self-development and growth and getting in alignment with this Bible. It's an environment conducive to that. If you follow the example and structure your environment in that way. And all that can be backed up biblically. But clearly I'm not speaking nothing super deep or nothing like that. It ain't hard to see that you need to look at yourself. But when you're full of pride, full of fear, you full of rejection, you gonna wrestle with that thing. You gonna wrestle. You gonna have a hard, almost impossible time looking at your issues, even if they're put right in your face. Let's see, seek. So we talked about seeking feedback from brothers and sisters. Again, I live around brothers and sisters that are like-minded, that are serious in this book. So it's not hard to seek feedback. Okay. Negative thoughts can go unchecked, leading to low self-esteem and anxiety. So, and like when you see these people who wrestle with low self-esteem, you emotionally, they're all over the place. They're literally slaves to their carnal nature, to whatever emotional roller coaster, wherever those emotions take them. Because they just they don't know how to deal with them and process them in a biblical, righteous way. So it goes back to when I said earlier, you can see their low self-esteem leaking out of them. Okay? Let's see. Here. Okay. One of the other things, like with low self-esteem, like I said, they hinder and prevent you from taking risk, or what you might perceive as risk, but challenging yourself, pushing yourself. They cause people to react impulsively to situations, later on leading to regret. And again, now you operate with regret, and you're repressing that. And when you repress these different emotions, they fester and they turn into other emotions. That's a whole nother show in and of itself. They contribute to chronic stress and anxiety. That's the result of constantly repressing stress and anxiety and putting it down, not properly dealing with it according to the word. That's the result. Yeah, I think, it's up too high. I think the windows are fogging up a little. We just put it on this. So they contribute to that. They cloud judgment and thinking, and they lead to poor choices. Okay? They prevent people from taking opportunities and making bold decisions. Okay? So they affect different people in a myriad of ways. It doesn't affect everybody the same way, but it does have an effect. So without awareness of our internal dialogue, we may struggle to understand why we behave the way we do. Get to know yourself. Okay? Oh dear. So personal growth. So growing, you see these people, there are people who are spiritually stagnant. There's no growth. You see no development in them. And that comes about, the difficulty in personal growth comes about because it's harder to identify and address negative patterns of thought and behavior. When you're not looking at yourself, you don't see yourself. So you're not going to grow. This is why you see people who just never grow. They're ever learning and never coming into the knowledge. Unchecked negative thoughts can lead to constant worry and anxiety. We talked about that. They can affect you physically, chronically, with pain and stuff like that. And like I said earlier, another telltale sign is inconsistent behavior and emotional instability. The light of this word that will emanate forth from you to where people are going to be drawn to you and the Most High through your behavior is just that meek, calm spirit about yourself. You know what I'm saying? And not just any time. I'm just talking about in certain situations that can be emotionally charged and not getting carried away off into the land of emotionalism. Okay? That land that's far, far away. Let's see. So it goes right back to what I keep, that verse I just keep beating like a drum. 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 5, in the King James Version. Casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought into the obedience of Christ. That's what we have to do. So what I got here is paying attention to your thoughts. Regularly check in with your thoughts and feelings. And in challenging, questioning the validity of those thoughts and feelings. When you become aware what is going on within and bring it into the light of the word, you will find that it is so childish and basic that you already know the biblical answer. Why? Because a lot of people are arrested in their development. Just studying isn't enough. You must do the introspection. Because a lot of people know the Bible in and out. They super religious. They got all the tools, but they neglect doing the main thing you got to do, and that's introspection. If you think I'm lying, go out there and look at some of these people that all they do is videos about other people and nothing about themselves, or nothing encouraging brothers and sisters to work on themselves. Galatians chapter 6, verse 4. But let every man prove his own work, and then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone and not in another. So that was a scripture that Shep had read this Sabbath. James chapter 1, verse 22. But be ye doers of the word, and not hearers only, deceiving yourselves. Again, people deceiving themselves with the word. Go ahead and turn it around for me. Proverbs chapter 4, verse 7. Wisdom is a principal thing. Therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. Make sure you get this. This ain't complicated. And then lastly, I'm going to just read Joshua, my favorite chapter in Joshua. Only be thou strong and very courageous, that thou mayest observe to do according to all the law which Moses my servant commanded thee. Turn not from it to the right hand or to the left, that thou mayest prosper wheresoever thou goest. All right, hold on one sec. They do the switcheroo, dropping my brother off. Uh-oh. Dang. This thing came out again. What was that? All right, shalom, brother. All right, hold on, y'all. Y'all give me a sec. All right. Y'all give me a sec. There we go. All right, had to fix something on the car. All right, got a little more to go, and all right. And it says, this book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt what? Meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. So you got to meditate on this word day and night. And I mean, we hear that being said all the time, but all I did and all I'm doing in this series that I'm doing, and definitely check out the other videos in the series, but all I'm doing in this series that I'm doing is showing y'all how to not just superficially read through the word, but how to go through the word in a in a practical, effective way, okay? And not just a word, but just how to utilize all the tools that the Most High has given us to use. You know, and we talked about that earlier. We talked about the praying, fasting, being led by the Holy Spirit, you're utilizing your brothers and sisters, and we talk about deliverance. We talk about studying the Word. You know, all these tools that we have at our fingertips to really bring change so that we can have life and have it more abundantly and be at peace with ourselves. But people are missing it 100%. They're not even hitting the target. They're missing it. You know what I'm saying? So but that's just what I wanted to bring out about low self-esteem, you know, and summarizing, like, the reason why you're uncertain and you're insecure and in certain situations you might be shy or fearful, scared, or whatever, is you need to take the journey inwards. You need to look within. You need to see what's operating there. And it's not gonna happen overnight. Like, oh, I did it. It's just a gradual process as you begin to, the more you become aware of what's operating in you, literally just becoming aware and knowing that something's operating there, it dissolves it. It literally dissolves in the light of the truth of this word. Because people are full of the word. People have the word in them. Folks have the word of Yah in them. Okay? It's there. You got to bring you got to shine the light of this word in those dark areas to bring light to them. It literally, effort-wise, is just taking the time to have poise, like the last video I did. You know what I'm saying? That's all it is, effort-wise. So we just really got to take these things into consideration, and, you know, walk circumspectly, be vigilant. You know, all those Bible verses that I brought forth in this. With that said, y'all, I'm Michael Israel. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Check out the rest of the Journey Inward series, because this is part 10 of it. And with that said, shalom, shalom.